The South Today bulletin, proudly brought to you in association with MoleMap, the skin cancer detection specialists.
Tonight on the South Today, solutions are brewing to improve a notoriously bad Dunedin intersection, but one city councillor is unconvinced. There's been another serious train crash in Canterbury. This morning's accident resulting in a fatality. And Invercargill's main stadium is getting a temporary rebrand to honour a Southern netball legend. Kia ora, good evening. I'm Hannah Wilkins. Traffic could be banned from crossing the state highway at a notorious intersection in North Dunedin if a low-cost solution is adopted. Waka Kotahi NZTA is suggesting a number of fixes to try and make the busy intersection near the gardens safer, but a city councillor thinks it could just make things worse.
A busy intersection in need of a rearrange. The North Dunedin intersection between State Highway 1 and Great King Street is being put under the microscope as Waka Kotahi NZTA looks into creating a safer route for drivers. The transport agencies come up with multiple solutions to cut out the crossover of the two busy roads near the gardens, including creating alternative routes with a roundabout or a turn-off on Bank Street. However, Dunedin City Councillor Jim O'Malley is unconvinced. He's dismissed the proposals as low-cost cop-outs and doesn't believe they'll make any difference.
I would argue that probably it's certainly no safer and it could even be a bit more dangerous.
Transport officials say they've been studying the Pine Hill Road and Great King Street intersection for over 25 years. O'Malley says they shouldn't overlook the previous suggestion of an underpass, which he still believes would be the best and safest solution.
The only really safe way to deal with this intersection is a grade separation. One's going to have to go under the other. I'd imagine this one will go under that.
But Waka Kotahi doesn't think a multi-million-dollar underpass or flyover would be economical. The issue's set to be examined further next year as part of a business case around broader State Highway 1 roadworks needed to accommodate construction of the new Dunedin Hospital. In Dunedin, the South Today.
One of the South Island's leading aviation entrepreneurs and community leaders died last night following a short illness.
Sir Tim Wallace was 85 years old and leaves behind an historic aviation legacy. The Greymouth-born businessman was a significant pioneer in New Zealand's venison industry after realising that helicopters were perfect for live captures. He was knighted for his services to deer farming exports in the community in 1994. Sir Tim was also the founder of the popular Warbirds over Wanaka Airshow, which has been showcasing vintage and modern aircraft in the region for more than 25 years. The three-day event attracts more than 50,000 people over Easter weekend every second year, pumping around $42 million into the regional economy. Sir Tim's wife of almost 50 years, Lady Prue Wallace, says her husband was a special bloke to a lot of people, but especially to his family. Sir Tim's friends say his legacy will continue to live on, with plans underway for a fitting farewell at a funeral next week. In Wanaka, the South Today.
Canterbury's Kiwi Rail drivers are on edge after two horror train crashes in 2 days. One person was killed this morning after being hit at a level crossing in Darfield. That followed an accident yesterday morning where a teenage driver in a stolen car was lucky to walk away after colliding with a train.
One person has died after being struck by a freight train in Darfield early on Wednesday morning. Emergency services responded to the incident around 7 a.m. Kiwi Rail says the loaded train was travelling from Darfield to Christchurch when it collided with the pedestrian at the crossing, which had warning lights and bells. State Highway 73 was closed with diversions in place, while the serious crash unit carried out a scene examination. It's been a horror 2 days for Canterbury train drivers. On Tuesday, a train collided with a stolen car on Lincoln Road in Addington at around 4 in the morning. Police say the teenage driver was very lucky to walk away from the wrecked vehicle. Inquiries are continuing into both incidents. Kiwi Rail says the drivers of both trains are uninjured and are receiving support. In Christchurch, the South Today.
Fire crews battled for half an hour this morning as they worked to contain a blaze that was engulfing an Oamaru home. Multiple calls were made to emergency services just after 9 on Wednesday morning, with the fire badly damaging a Perth Street house. 2 fire appliances were initially dispatched, but a crew from Western also attended the scene, alongside police and ambulance crews, due to the extent of the fire. No one was inside the house at the time of the blaze, which Fire and Emergency New Zealand say was well involved when crews arrived. It took 30 minutes for firefighters to contain the blaze, with some remaining on site to dampen down hotspots. The fire is not believed to be suspicious. A search and rescue team was kept busy on the Dunedin coast yesterday after a young man took a wrong turn and got stuck on a cliff. The search and rescue operation launched on Tuesday morning after the man got stuck while trying to find a track from Smales Beach up to Tomahawk Road. Police say they received a call from the man, who appeared to be trapped inside a hollowed nook within the cliff face. A team of 7 Dunedin land search and rescue volunteers worked at the scene, joined by police and a medic from Hatohone St John. The man was brought to safety by 2 search and rescue crews around 2 p.m. yesterday and was described as being disorientated but otherwise safe and sound. Well, it's not every day a rural primary school gets a multi-million-dollar upgrade, but that's exactly what Waikaia School in Southland has just received, and their pupils can't wait to check out their new stomping ground.
Singing Waiata and celebrating a new era for these Southland children. Waikaia School officially opened its new classrooms this week. The $1.3 million project has taken around 9 months to complete. School Principal Michelle Horton describes the rebuild as wonderful and says it creates a great learning space for all of their 19 pupils.
We've opened up the space and it's lighter, brighter, it's breakout space, as art bay that we can both access rather than just one class accessing that.
The project was confirmed by the Ministry of Education back in 2019, but the pandemic caused construction work to be delayed. Southland District Mayor Rob Scott was among the special guests. He says he always gets a good feeling coming into the small town.
I always explain to people about Waikaia, it's just got something special about it. It's got that character, it's got that charm, and it's probably one of the best communities in New Zealand, I'd say, with that real tight, good community spirit that you've got.
But the adults aren't the only ones impressed by the new classrooms.
It is great, and it's good that we can see the senior room and talk to them.
With the school's roll slightly up on previous years, there's confidence of a promising future for the rural school, as some of the current pupils get ready to welcome younger siblings on their education journey. In Waikaia, the South Today.
A Southland stadium is getting a new name this week in honour of a legendary netball coach. Invercargill's netball fortress will be temporarily renamed as the Robyn Broughton Stadium, just in time for an important international test match.
A stadium full of memories for these former netballers. Invercargill's ILT Stadium Southland is getting a new name for 1 week. It'll be known as the Robyn Broughton Stadium to mark the venue's hosting of the 3rd test of the Constellation Cup on Thursday. The initiative pays homage to the long-time former Southland netball coach who passed away last month, leaving former Southern Steel captain Wendy Frew with special memories.
She was like a second mum to me. She started coaching me when I was really young and had over 10 years under her. So for me, she was such a great friend and inspiration and a really good leader, and she cared so much for the player and on and off the court.
The new stadium name will only be temporary, but 2-time Olympian Donna Wilkins is looking forward to bringing her family along to the match.
It's pretty special. Robyn Broughton was huge in Southland, so to be able to do something around that for a netball test down here in Invercargill with the renaming of the stadium is a huge honour for her and her family.
Frew and Wilkins are tipping the Silver Ferns to bring their A-game for the Southland crowd on Thursday night and say they're hoping the team will get one over Australia in honour of Robbie. In Invercargill, the South Today.
Yakane. Still to come on the South Today. A Southland runner prepares for a physical and mental challenge like no other, and some water speedsters make their way to Cromwell for this year's World Jetboat Marathon.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
Here at Age Concern Otago, we offer a range of services to support Otago seniors to age well with dignity and independence. We provide social work support, visiting service, health promotion and social activities. Check out what we have on offer at ageconcernotago.com.
Such a sweet girl. What are you dreaming about?
Just music.
The Power of Dreams by Honda.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
Tēnā koe, welcome back. One Southland runner will be putting his mental fitness to the test later this week, while also raising some money for a good cause.
Invercargill's Simon Pattons was getting warmed up earlier this week to accomplish his ambitious goal of completing 5 great walks in 5 days. The 37-year-old's journey covers almost 250 kilometres across Southland and Fiordland to raise money and awareness for bowel cancer New Zealand. Pattons always been passionate about running and wanted to make a difference after losing an uncle and friend to the disease.
You know, there's 2 different pains in life that you can live with, the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. And I've sort of chosen that pathway of the pain of discipline, and that's come into play a big part in training for this.
And he's got plenty of support, already hitting his initial target of $10,000 before even hitting the track. Pattons flew to Stewart Island ready to start running the Rakiora track on Thursday morning, with the aim of completing his mission with the rebrand track next Monday. In Invercargill, the South Today.
South Island rivers will see plenty of high-speed water action this week, with some of the world's best Jetboat talent in action. The international stars are making their way to Cromwell to compete in this year's World Jetboat Marathon.
These jetboats are set to go full speed at the UIM World Jetboat Marathon. Around 30 competitors were busy putting in their final preparations at the Highland Motorsport Park on Saturday. North American racer Dale Whiteside shipped his jetboat all the way from Canada for this week's racing and says there was a lot of preparation in the lead up to the event.
Well, you're just trying to train your mind and your body and make your decisions a reflex, and reading the water and reading the river and the weather and everything is the biggest challenge.
Every year, one country's national champs becomes the World Marathon, with hosting rights rotating between the United States, Mexico, Canada and New Zealand. Whiteside reckons river racing is a rewarding sport, one that's allowed him to compete against some of the best around the world.
A lot of friends have been developed in this racing group over the last 20 years. A lot of the guys here that I race with come to North America.
The World Jetboat Marathon got underway on the Dart River on Sunday, with races set to cross the finish line on the Waimakariri River at the end of the week. In Cromwell, the South Today.
And now recapping tonight's top stories on the South Today. A busy intersection near the Dunedin Botanic Gardens is under the spotlight with plans to make it safer. One person has died after being hit by a freight train at a level crossing this morning in Darfield, Canterbury. And ILT Stadium Southland is being renamed the Robyn Broughton Stadium. The temporary change comes as the city hosts netball's Constellation Cup. And now a look at what's happening in tomorrow's ODT. We're checking in with editor Paul McIntyre. Hello, Paul.
Hi, how are you?
Very well, thank you. Now, what can we expect to read in the paper tomorrow?
Well, we've got a high-end Queenstown building company has allegedly been ripped off by ghost contractors to the tune of $1 million.
Right.
We've got a 13-year-old high flyer, Benjamin Pattison, wants to put the International back into Dunedin Airport. He started a campaign to reinstate international flights and actually has done a poll of over 2,500 people.
Wow.
And we're talking to foreign real estate agents about foreign buyers wanting to get back into the Queenstown market.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, sports reporter Kaylee Hodge has been speaking to Silverphone's coach Nolan Tyree about ahead of the clash with Australia tomorrow night in Invercargill.
Brilliant, that'll be a fantastic read. Thank you for sharing, Paul.
No problem.
Time now for a look at the weather.
The South Today weather, proudly brought to you by MoleMap, the skin cancer detection specialists.
Looking at the situation, expect westerly airflow tomorrow that'll ease on Friday, and by Saturday high pressure should be bringing clear, calm weather across the region. Heading to the top of the South Island. There's some light winds about tomorrow, but otherwise it's looking fine with 19 degrees in Nelson, 18 over in Greymouth, and Christchurch is a bit cloudy with nor'easterlies and a high of 16. Travelling to South Canterbury and North Otago. Some cloud and nor'easterlies in both Ashburton and Oamaru tomorrow with 16-degree highs, while Timaru in the middle gets up to 17 with light winds and lots of sunshine. Heading westwards to the Central Lakes. Queenstown's looking good tomorrow with light winds and blue skies with a high of 19. And over in Wanaka and Alexandra, expect a sunny 20 degrees with a westerly breeze. Heading further south, pockets of cloud through here tomorrow with fresh westerlies and 16-degree highs in Gore, Balclutha and the Catlins. Across to Invercargill, a fine evening ahead as it drops to 8 degrees overnight. The next 2 days are looking sunny with spots of cloud at times and westerly winds. Thursday's high will be 16 with 14 on the way for Friday with a few showers too. And finally heading to Dunedin, mostly fine tonight as it drops to 8. Tomorrow looks fine with sunshine and some cloud at times with afternoon nor'easterlies and a high of 16. Then Friday brings fresh gusty sou'westerlies with lots of cloud and up to 14 as the high. And that's the news this Wednesday. For the latest news and videos from the southern region, head online to odt.co.nz. You can follow Channel 39 on YouTube to catch our news bulletins on demand. And you can also follow us on Facebook. Just search for the South Today NZ to see our favourite stories from around the regions. We'll see you again tomorrow. Ka kite o pōpō.
Public interest journalism funded through New Zealand On Air.
The South Today Bulletin, proudly brought to you in association with MoleMap, the skin cancer detection specialists.